Persperity Podcast. In the shadows we find our light. Through the struggles we will take flight. Healing hearts and mending minds. Together we'll leave the past behind. Welcome to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey of healing, it's our turn. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Oh yeah. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Trauma whispers, but love will shout. In this space of trust, there's no doubt. We'll explore the depths of pain and grace, finding strength in every embrace. Welcome to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey of healing, it's our turn. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Take a breath and join the ride. Together we'll walk side by side with open hearts and open minds. In this podcast space, true peace we'll find. Welcome to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey of healing, it's our turn. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Mindful moments equal prosperous lives. Persperity Podcast, a safe space for people.
I'm about to do this live podcast.
Persperity Podcast, a safe space for people healing from trauma. Persperity Podcast, a safe space for people healing from trauma.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Persperity Podcast. Join me as I welcome back Sergio Sanders, also known as Mr. Sanders, Raven Poole, Jamila Williams, she'll be on soon, Rebecca Brown will be on soon, and Alex Johnson to share their unique perspectives on what it was like to be a guest on Persperity Podcast. They'll discuss the preparation, the recording process, the impact their appearance had on their personal and professional journey, and just get ready to be engaged, have fun, and get some valuable takeaways from Persperity Podcast. So you all know how it goes. Share where you're at right now, business. What's going on with you before we get into some of these questions?
Go ahead, Sergio. Okay. Where I'm at in life, not too different from where I was a month ago when we did the first podcast, but yeah, still working in project management at a marketing agency. Busy day today, but I was excited to hop on here and speak with you guys. We're on a panel. This is a different one. This was just you and me the first time, so I'm excited for this one.
Me too. I'm excited because I knew that the moment that you said that you were going to come back on, and the moment that all of you said that you would do it, but I was like, it's going to be powerful, especially with Mr. Sanders on here. He got some powerful words. I'm telling you, it's this episode. I know it's going to be mind blowing. It is. So I'm grateful to have you.
Hey, don't put it on thick like that. Take it easy. That's a lot of pressure. Yeah, well, I'm Sergio James Sanders. Just graduated from Clark Atlanta University this past May. A Master in Social Work. Super geeked up about that. I do parent empowerment workshop trainings. It's called Take Your Child Back. And so it's 7 steps of how to reconnect back to your kids, teacher-child relationship building, all that good stuff. Currently, I'm working with the VA. I'm helping get these veterans back on their feet. And here I'm glad to be with Miss Smith again and just to get this party started.
Yes. And we can tune in on Sundays at what time?
Oh, yes. So I have my free parent empowerment workshop trainings every Sunday at 6. You can hit me up on IG at Sergio James 88. You'll see my link up there and come check us out and get some tools.
Yeah, it's real good, you all. And remember that it is in Eastern time if you're in Central time.
Yes, Eastern time. Yep.
Yes. I had to remember that because I hopped on. I was like, you know what? It's 7 o'clock that time. But I did
Yeah,
tune in this week, and it was he was dropping gems. He definitely
thank
was.
you. Appreciate it.
So let's transition into some of these questions. It is definitely great to have you both back. Since your last appearance, what is one significant personal or professional development that you like to share with the audience?
Can you say that one more time?
Since the your last appearance of the show, what is one significant
Mhm.
personal or professional development that you like to share with the audience? Something that has happened.
Mm, well, I won't say like personal. I say like more spiritual development. Just being patient with the process, even though you want to tap out. That's like when God stretches you so much to where you're like, you know what? I'm glad I went through that. You can't say that until you're like on the other side, because in it, it don't feel like that. So the past like 5 months, I've been looking for a full time job. I have a part time job as a supervised therapist. I have like about 15 clients. That was part time. For the full time job, I've been jobless for like 6 months, and it was just so daunting and disappointing, to say the least. And so I just got hired with the VA last week. Started today. So I feel like, all right, cool. I could see why I went through what I went through, and so that's my spiritual development. That helps me with my professional development.
Really good.
That's good. I was just thinking, probably breaking out of my comfort zone a little bit more because I told you your podcast was the first one I did, but I had that on my vision board to do a podcast this year. So I think just getting out of my comfort zone has made me want to do more things. Now I'm like looking at my bucket list and trying to figure out what else I can check off before the year is over. And I guess that stretches out into my personal life or my professional life also in work as far as the projects that I want to take on and I might not have felt as confident in before, but I'm on a roll right now with doing things that are not necessarily within my bubble. So that
Nice.
helps.
I like that. I have to say, like, Raven is also in Atlanta, but you're in the outer skirts of Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm in Noonan.
I don't know if you know that, but yeah. So
Yeah.
I say that because Mr. Sanders is in Atlanta and he's been doing a lot of stuff and he's getting his podcast and stuff together. Maybe it'd be an opportunity to collab.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure, for sure. If they overlap, we can make
Yeah,
it
I
happen.
love that.
Cool.
Next question. Thinking back to your initial appearance on the podcast, what was your primary motivation for agreeing to be a guest at the time?
I think just back to what I said, doing something that I haven't done before. And I find myself coming up with excuses when I'm nervous to do something or I'm scared to do something. And it just kind of like, why not? I know you. I'm good with you. This was an exciting opportunity. Um, I think just stretching my arms and embracing something new that God was telling me why not. I feel and I want to do them. I had somebody reach out to me, one of my friends. Her mom has a podcast, and they gave me such kind words. They watched the whole thing from yours, and um, she got me thinking about maybe doing something similar myself because I like to talk. I got a lot to say if I find the right topics, but kind of open my horizon on other things that I can do in my life in my downtime. If I have downtime, when I do something productive with it.
That's good. Nice. Mr. Sanders?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So my main thing was because we went through a lot there at Upper Bound. It was tough, and so I was just really proud of you for transitioning to, back home, your hometown. I mean, getting, hitting the ground running, doing your podcast. It was just back to back to back, and I'm like, man, I was like Miss Smith doing her thing, man, and I was seeing you very consistent, and I just felt honored, to get interviewed for what I'm doing. And so it was more just like a loyalty, support, and to be honored to speak about what I'm doing.
I love that. And I'm gonna flip that question back on me, like as far as like what made me ask you all to be guests. I think what stood out the most to me, I'm gonna start with Mr. Sanders first. Was that you definitely have a heart for the young people, but you have a heart for people in general, and you know how to speak to that thing that is in them that's telling them not to move, and you tell it to move. You can move. You can do this. You got this. And I think that that is a great thing to have. That is powerful. That is a calling. That is a gift to have. So
Thank
parents and kids can gain something from you rather than just being in one area. That's huge. And I know that type of energy, the type of atmosphere that you bring, it's needed. It was so impactful having you as a guest. I had um it was a lot of women on it. I guess it was, as you could see, it was a lot of them commenting, and they was, yeah, he definitely had the women, the older and the younger women, asking about him. But it was just the fact of them asking. They were like, "Can he come to Missouri and speak? Who is this guy? He's speaking gems. He's saying something that makes a lot of sense. That's needed, and
thank
that
you.
doesn't come a lot from like it doesn't come. Everything that you say doesn't come from a person that doesn't go through just anything. It's someone that has that.
Yeah,
So I had to have that on the podcast.
thank
But I know
you.
you have a story, and there's so much in you, and that's why you do it. But
Thank you.
you, Raven,
Appreciate it.
you're welcome. So you, Raven, I knew like instantly when I met you, I was like, you know what? She fierce, she got attitude, she definitely is confident in who she is. I said, I gotta have this person on the podcast because she has a story. She has a confidence about herself. She's artistic. She's bright. The way you answer the questions with poise, people were really intrigued. They were just like, wow, she's able to articulate herself and answer these questions. Being an African American woman, being vulnerable as you were, most people come on and they just be like, I want to be judged and I'm scared to be judged. You, on the other hand, you aren't worried about that. And I think that is such an impact on young Black women or Black women to come onto this podcast to share their stories.
Yeah.
So it you were amazing. And I had people reaching out too, and they were just like, oh my gosh, she's so inspiring and she's so pretty. And I was like, yes, that is Raven. So yes, I was really grateful to have you as a guest, and I'm grateful to have you both back. Um, this is Rebecca, known as Becca. Good to have you on. Um, the question that I just asked is, thinking back on your initial appearance on the podcast, what was your primary motivation for agreeing to be a guest? Oh, I can't hear you. I think your mic might be muted. No, I can't hear you. I think. Oh, okay. She'll be back. You all. You all. In the meantime, let's move on to the next question. Well, make sure we ask her that question when she comes back. How did you prepare for your first interview, and did you do any specific research, or were you nervous?
I was nervous. I remember that. Not so much preparing because I know we talked about wanting it to be authentic, so I didn't really want to dig too deep and even on the topic. Was it reclaiming old narratives? I believe it was, but I didn't feel like I needed to research for that. We were talking about our lives and where we've gone and where we are now and how it's brought us to where we're trying to get at least. So no, not too much research, but I definitely was nervous starting it off. You made it. I settled down as we got in because it felt like just talking
Yeah,
with a friend, just going back and forth. Um, but I enjoyed it so much I wanted to come back, so it wasn't too bad.
I love that. Thank you. What about you, Mr. Sanders?
Yeah. I think the topic was about like vulnerability being a strength, or something along those
Mhm.
lines. And I'm super vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very open with the people because I feel like a king should be vulnerable to show himself, to show others how to lead. You create leaders. And so that's my superpower, is to be vulnerable with people, because my story is my story, but it's relatable. And so preparing for it, I didn't really prepare for it. It was more an alignment, because I was going through some stuff at that time. And during that 6 month stint, and it was like raw and real, let's go. So it was actually an alignment. So there's no need to prepare for something that you already are.
Wow. You always come with the D.
Oh my God.
You always go with
Next time so I can adjust my answer.
All right, go to him first, and then
Man,
go to you. That's what
that's crazy. See, the thing about it, I don't even hear it. I feel like it's normal, but I don't know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like he had me look, y'all gotta go back and watch that episode he was on. When you were speaking about when I asked you a question about men being in a relationship and how the woman how he would want a woman to be and you start talking about cooking related to it.
Mm.
It was alignment to what Raven was saying. And I had told her that I was like, Raven, I had a guest on here. You remember me saying that? I said
Yeah.
he said something similar to that. And I was like, wow, this saying. Not trying to throw nothing necessarily out there.
No, it's a lot. And even you saying, talking about being unemployed, because we talked about that in my episode a little bit, Destiny, how I was unemployed for almost a year before I got a job. I was laid off from my previous job and was on my last. Saying, like, God, I held out for as long as I could. I need the breakthrough any day now. So that's resonating with me, a lot of what you just said.
Man, shoot, he'll definitely put you in that
Yeah.
stretching space. The thing about it, like faith wise, you know, people think they have faith, yes, but until it's super like tested to the point, it's kind of like let's say you swimming and you like, I can only do 6 feet, like you can do
Yeah.
12, but then when you can't touch the ground anymore, that's when like, all right, if you start to
Yeah.
panic, you'll sink. And so in that space of not having a job, I can flutter and sink, but I'm like, let me just
Hmm.
float. Let me float. Let
Hmm.
me float. And I end up reaching the island. Now I'm on
Yeah.
dry land. So I'm good.
And when it happens, it's
Yeah.
perfect timing. It's perfect timing when it happens.
Yeah.
So for sure it's going to happen for you.
Yes, it's powerful. Sorry, you. I'm trying to get Rebecca on. I think she's having technical difficulties. I did just shoot you a message that when you join, make sure you give it permission, your microphone permission.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you. You good? You good? You good? Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the second question. I'm gonna give you the opportunity because you did hop on.
Okay.
It says, thinking back to your initial appearance on the podcast, what was your primary motivation for agreeing to be a guest?
So that my story could be heard, someone else could be touched, someone else could understand that they are not the only one that goes through. We all do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. The next question is, how did you prepare for your first interview? Did you do any specific research or were you nervous?
No, I was nervous, but I just depended on God. I just you be the mouth so that it touches and pierces the heart of someone out there so that I can reach someone. Because it's not an easy life. It is not, especially when you're trying to walk Christ like low.
He's right. And those of you who don't know, I mean, she don't like to even say it, but Rebecca is the first lady.
Oh,
First lady Rebecca. Which is kind of like what her topic was about, but it was I believe your topic was about like the what is it the being raised out of the ashes.
Yes,
It was
yes,
not, yeah, about the ashes. Yes, yes, and that was
yeah.
very powerful as well because in that episode we got to talk more deeply about some of the challenges of being a first lady, but also the challenges of not of the vulnerabilities that come with that, the feelings and emotions that people don't recognize, or some
Hmm.
traumas that you went through that people didn't recognize. So I feel like that was really deep. Coming from a first lady, coming from just a black women and just in general, just to be able to share what you shared. So that was huge.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it.
And
Hope that it touched somebody.
shout out to Mr. Pastor Sir. Thank you for joining in. I see him. He
My
commented.
husband. Yes, yes.
Yes. But thank you all again for joining. I'm gonna transition into another question. What was your overall impression of the podcast experience? And particularly, how would you take that in comparison to public speaking, motivational speaking, or if you ever done anything such as this?
Um,
So I'll say because you are very genuine in what you do, the questions it wasn't random. It flowed with whatever topic was. It flowed with whatever topic was happening. So you might have had an idea what you want to do, but you let the conversation flow. I think you mentioned that when we were talking as well. Just hey, just do you. And so I think you choose specific people that will have a story for it to resonate with some of will resonate with your followers. And so it was key. I don't know how you map out some of your topics to match the person, or if you have the person to match the topic. I'm not
Mm.
sure, but you specifically have the people that's supposed to fill up that space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's powerful. I say it's all God, you all. I pray God give me the topic and the people.
Yeah, I remember you said that before. Because I was thinking, how did she know this was something good for us to talk about? I don't like public speaking, and this feels nothing like it for me. I guess if I think about that, it's probably a bunch of people watching this right now. Yeah, that might make me drop a bit. But to his point, I think you're so intentional with your question is and how you're asking things and how just the whole process of it flows. You kind of forget that this is a public forum and not just me and you or me, you, and Sergio and Rebecca talking right now. You make it comfortable. You make it a comfortable space.
I say the same. You're very, very intentional with what you're doing. Another thing I would say is it kind of brought out for me to not be so ashamed of where I come from and what it is that I am doing. Some people may need to know. I don't like saying I'm a first lady because I don't want. I'm not a title person. I'm just me. So, but at the same time, that definitely can be something for someone else. For me to at least let them know what a first lady is actually out there doing. So it kind of did help me open up a little bit, just a smidget, and come out my shyness just a little.
I would say because I mean it inspired you to do a podcast, right?
Yes, it did.
Go ahead
It
and shout
definitely
that
did.
out. How can we listen to that?
I know. I don't know. I don't know how to get it to be. I'm not technical. I'm elderly. I don't know nothing. You see how hard it was for me just to get in here
Oh, look,
on
look,
mute.
look. We gonna work it out as soon as we get done with this.
Okay.
I know I'm supposed to assist. You wouldn't hit it. I was like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot, but I got you though. After this, we're gonna be able to tell people where you can go, what we could do.
Okay.
We gonna work that out. I
Yeah.
got you. Okay. Next question. Can you recall a specific moment or question from your previous interview that particularly resonated with you, either during or after the recording?
Girl, I can sleep. I done went to sleep a couple times.
Hey, you definitely should have had us go review our show. She she over here giving
I'm like,
quizzes, pop quiz.
Oh, it was just
Mom,
coming at the top.
What
Like
was the question that you all had that literally
she was
resonated with
like
you all?
she was
What was a question that stood with you all that
Hmm.
you in the bed? Like,
it was like, do you remember when I said that third word after the second word?
Destiny, it was
And
such a conversation. It was felt like just such a conversation that I can't pick out just one question. It just felt like we
Right.
were talking on the phone.
I know how all you were in college in your master's programs and your bachelor's programs.
Mhm.
I just know it. It was just all so good that
man,
I got it. I got it. I got it. Was
I
there anything?
of how good you
man,
are at your job that we can't pinpoint one thing because it flowed so well.
Right. Okay. And it was all good.
like pop quiz.
Y'all,
Like,
This
y'all
is how
is wrong. Y'all is wrong for that. No, okay, so let me put it this way. Was there anything during that time that stood out to you all that was shared or what that you got to share?
that sounds better. Thank you. Appreciate it. That sounds much better. It
I'm sorry, you.
flows.
I try to put my questions together, in a way, and I realized that sometimes it be like the guests be like, it was like a lot of it was, yep. And I'll be like, oh, okay, I need to symbolize it because I be trying to go scholarly and I
No, I mean this leaves it open
Yeah.
ended. It leaves
Yeah.
it opened. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, chapter what? Nah, so I think I'll say what do you call it? So one of the questions you were talking about was about black men and being vulnerable either with themselves or not, well, black men and vulnerability in
Mhm.
general. And I think when we were talking about black men and women vulnerability, how black men want to be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? We want to be. At the same time, it's probably a human thing, but when you reveal yourself to somebody, now they got something on you. Now they got something in their pocket, depending on how they move. So you got to be very mindful of who you're sharing your heart, your energy, your vulnerability with, because a lot of black men, we have been maybe jaded by our mom or our aunt or a woman in our space. So it probably makes us feel resistant to trust another black woman, a woman in general, but black women with our heart. um, and so, but that vulnerability is a super strength though. When you finally meet that woman that's able to, I guess, nurture your vulnerability, because black men are sensitive. They think we're not. We really are. And so I feel like if a woman is able to cultivate that vulnerability with that man, that's his person. Because there's a lot of I think that the black man really locks up his own emotions in his own mind to where it prevents his growth. And so that makes that little boy inside the man, because the little boy has been hurt, he's still there. And so it takes the right woman to coax that vulnerability out for him to trust it so that he can be healed. And also being vulnerable is to show little boys vulnerability is a gift. I was doing my clinical year at Morehouse Counseling Services last year, and we had barbershop talk where we will have free 25 free haircuts. We brought in myself, a couple of speakers, and we got all the freshmen and sophomores together to have a barbershop conversation. And one of the questions was about vulnerability and transparency. And they thought it was a weakness. They never seen their dad cry before, their grandpa. And so they said when a black man is vulnerable, it makes them nervous because it's something they don't normally see. It's like seeing a lion cry. Like, what you crying for? You a lion, you're supposed to be strong, but lions do cry too. So if you are able to see a black man be vulnerable, you see that's okay. You don't have to walk around with this weight and this heaviness to where now you sparking off when somebody says something to you. Nah, the vulnerability is therapeutic. It's actually healing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Raven.
Uh, I'm thinking.
I get you because he gets just going in here. So I'm like, Raven.
No, I remember we talked a lot about being our own delay and patience and the timeline of wanting things, the ready made, whatever it is, job or relationship. And all of those things still pertain to me today. It's still a battle of being like, okay, let me let go of the timeline, hold on to the promise, and release my timeline. Whatever I pray for, to know that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. That's an everyday battle, though. I don't know if I'll get there, but I'm trying to relinquish that to God because I realize that when we do wait, so much more perfect when He gives it to us how He wants to give it to us. So, still thinking about that, still holding on to that, still trying to apply that to everyday life.
It's good. It's good.
Um, is it my turn? I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, back on me. Okay. I think what stuck with me the most about our conversation was how I got to where I am, how I was raised in the church and veered away from the church and coming back. And I can't remember your name that's above me. The young lady that just was talking,
Raven.
Raven.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Uh, it took a long time for me also, Raven, to understand how to wait on God in a way that sometimes what I was asking for wasn't even in his plan.
Mm,
So while I was waiting on something, it was never going to come because it wasn't intended So I had to, just as advice, I just had, Lord, you just gonna do what you gonna do. Because it may not, I don't know what's good for me. Let me
Right.
say it that way. I don't know what's good. So just wanted to kind of piggyback on your thing. I have been in that spot before. Now I just rest in his arms like, you know what? Partner, you tell me what to do. Because what I want to do, it must not be worth you.
Yeah.
Mm. You all inspire me. Like, I know I share with you all the reason why this podcast was birthed, which is because God, you know, He, I share with Him. I said, "There's no safe space for people that have gone through trauma and tumultuous circumstances, and there's no area of expression. You know, there's always a certain way you have to be, and
Right.
it's so structured." And I was like, you know, God, what should I do? And God was like, a couple years ago, you know, create the space. And I didn't know. And it was that summer, last year. It was the summer of last year, Mr. Sanders, where God was really dealing with me on a lot of my stuff that I had to heal from, a lot of stuff that I was doing, a lot of stuff I was running away from. And also when I created the image, like the actual graphic of the podcast and doing, you know, starting to pour into it. And it wasn't until like, you know, I don't know. I mean, if you all have ever had a whooping, like it was felt like God was whooping you. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like God was whooping me. When I came back home to Missouri, and it was just so much. The word of the world was on me. And I was like, okay, God, what do I need to do? What do I need to just, you know, what load do I need to let go? When he was like, all of it. And in that, I had to realize that I was living in an I, and there was no room for anyone else. And I had to remove the I'm gonna do this. I got this, to being in the sense of I'm selfish, and realizing that I had to move forward in a selfless space. And that was when God pushed me in November to start this podcast. He was like, start it. I was like, what if nobody watches? People don't think, they don't think I'm nice. They don't misunderstand me. I don't understand. And with the day it was birthed, well, from that Monday on to now, you guys marked the 40th episode. People are, and they're very excited to share their story. In quote unquote, in the African American community, they be like, people telling my business, and
Yeah.
it's why are you being so vulnerable? Back in my day, let me tell you, it's not back in your day anymore. We're in time
Right.
where you go through is a testimony. It does not, what you go through does not belong to you.
Right.
It belongs to God. And what God has for you to do with it is to speak life into people, to bring them to Him.
Right.
So they see Him and they feel Him and they know that He is real. So creating this podcast and doing all of this, people get on and they hear the scriptures you all quote, the testimonies, and just be able to just relate to you all, and just and be inspired to know that they can do it. Or some are intimidated, like I don't know how they did that, and I'm like, intimidated how? Come on now, because to think that somebody else's story can intimidate you, to think that what you've gone through is less than, is
Mm.
ridiculous. Everybody has gone through something, and everyone, no matter if the story is relatable, it needs to be told,
Yeah.
because it's something sitting inside of you that's rotting. What does fruit do when it sits too long? It rots. What does food do? It
Mm-hmm.
rots. So you have to release that. It's not about sharing your business and being too personable with people. It's about knowing your limits, also, you know, what you want to share, but also knowing that you're going to be a blessing to someone. So I'm, you know, to sum it up, I'm grateful that you all were wanting to be on the podcast and the impact that you have made. And I'm excited to see where your podcast and your shows and the things you're doing is going, because glory be to God, you know, the world is changing
Yeah.
because of a Mr. Sanders, a Raven, a Rebecca. The world is changing because you all are doing what you're doing. You know, I got special shout out to you, Mr. Sanders. I'm telling you, you doing the doggone thing.
Yeah.
Telling
Like
you,
that
like,
thing.
this black man is out here making moves for younger black men,
That's
paving
what's
the way
up.
for them, not yelling at them and being aggressive. He's speaking life into them.
Love that. We need more of that.
Love it. Yes.
That's why I told him, I said, we got to collab on something. Y'all speak to these young women out here, these young men out here, to know that they are important.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just
Mhm.
like you all, God didn't have you all on this for no reason. No reason. Your voices are needed to be heard. Your testimonies are needed to be heard. You know, you're speaking lives into people and you're saving lives. As somebody on here one time that was watching and they felt so ashamed of themselves that they were battling with depression. And because
Mm.
somebody's story was shared, their life was saved and they were able to feel more empowered. And it wasn't just because somebody that looks like them, African American perspective. No, it was because someone was vulnerable enough to share what they're going through. So keep it up. Keep it up, you all.
You too, Destiny, because you're that
I
vessel
know, right?
that's coming.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate that, you all. I do like have a serious question on that. Like, what do you all think about people that have this thing about why are you telling your personal business? What are your thoughts on that with being a guest on here?
Yeah, I'm reserved myself as far as who I pick and choose to share things with. So I understand it to an extent, but to your point, how we're supposed to help people. You know, that's God wants us to share those moments. We're whatever we're going through. If it brought us down to our knees or at any point we had to call on God, He's wanting us to share that with the next person, and not because they, to put them in our business, but to help them out, to put them on a pedestal so they can get to where we are. I'm learning that as I get older, that it's not necessarily telling my business. It really is just an ear that wants to hear that might be going through something. Because everybody's not open enough to say, I need help. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to say. So just hearing somebody else's story is enough to know, okay, they went through it. They're okay. I'll be okay. So that's something that I'm as I guess it's just coming with age. It's not telling my business. It's helping whoever wants to hear it. And whatever they go and do with my business, that's between them and God. I feel like I did my part. I'm not saying share everything now. Some things are meant to
Yeah.
hold in our heart, but
Yeah.
I think it's a line between sharing your business and telling too much. And platforms like this, I think, it's good to be vulnerable. It's good to share those kind of things.
Well said. Well said. I like that.
I love it. I love it. I too, I don't call it sharing my business, especially if God is able to get the glory. And
Mm.
that makes it his business at that point. So telling my life story, I'm not ashamed. I used to be. I used to be. I did not want nobody knowing that I was a PK. Baby, that was not. Now, yes, y'all need to know because I can hit them knees and make it happen. you know? But yeah, definitely not telling my business because God is gonna get the glory for
Yeah.
what I've been through.
It's good.
Yeah. A lot of people share their business because they don't feel comfortable talking to human beings. It's been so virtual that they feel like I can do what I want virtually, and I don't have to have the consequences of somebody giving me direct um, response.
Mhm.
So I think maybe the pandemic has added that on as well because Zoom was popping extra because you couldn't see each other.
Mhm.
So having those intimate conversations with your partner clear across the whole United States or a whole nother world, I think people were conditioned to talking about their business to where now that we're not in a virtual, now that COVID is not as rampant, people still want to express themselves and still want to tell their business. But there's a certain level of that vulnerability I talked about
Mhm.
that people
Mhm.
can use your vulnerability for something else. So you gotta be mindful of what platform you're using it on. You're telling your business on. Why are you doing it really? Because not everybody's meant to like know your stuff like that. That's what therapists are for. Um, at the same time, if you do reach out for help and be vulnerable, that can unlock someone else's vulnerability to them having to feel confident enough to reach out and get help. For instance, I mean, Destiny, you had saw it. Like I was in a super dark, depressed space, and this is like my second time I've been like in that suicidal mindset. And the first time was like 3 years ago, and this time happened like 4 weeks ago, and it was really, really, really tough. And so I expressed myself on IG, and expressed myself, and I was embarrassed the next day. I was like, damn. But I got so much feedback, so much love. It was crazy that people. I think it's kind of like when you're not here, people will start to love you. But when you say you don't want to be here, people start to love you too because they know that they're going to miss out on something that's important. That's like somebody saying it's a limited time offer. You better get it while you can. Now people want to go buy it because they know it's going to leave. And so for myself, we're all limited, um, but we can check out on our limitedness if we so choose to. And a lot of people have a lot of weight to carry, and some people can't carry that weight. But when you tell how you feel about how heavy that weight is, some people will carry your load. They'll help you. They'll help you bear your own cross. I know God. I know Christ is real. I get that, but He made human beings physically so we can carry those things.
Yeah.
And I think someone had mentioned on here about how we go through things for God's glory. I get that. I think sometimes God has a certain He's very humorous, and so it's a certain way where He'll let you go through all this just to say it was God. And sometimes it's like I'm like, why do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you let us go through so much just for you to like receive glory? And that's a whole nother conversation. Um, but it's always praise back to Himself. Um, yeah, that's another topic. Why does God let us go through things just so He can get glory? And sometimes people can be stretched so much that they can't take it no more. So they end up checking out a lot. So at what point does our faith help us to really lean on God like that if our faith capacity isn't that strong? So I think there's a level of testing that people are really not ready for until they reach out for help. So another tangent. My bad. Let's bring it back. Let's bring
Oh
it
no,
back.
that's good.
You was flowing.
Yeah.
Nah,
Hey,
I'm done. I was going
this is
down
safe
rabbit
space.
hole. I was going on a rabbit hole. We good. We straight. We straight. Yeah, we good. We good.
You were talking good though. You
Yeah.
were talking good, and not only talking good, you were talking as a lot of people view it. So what you were saying, you were kind of dead on the right track. I was going to interject and say that that's because we do try to carry everything that we aren't meant to carry.
Mhm.
Mm.
That's why he said that his yoke is light and his burden. And you got to give it to him. Sometimes we won't, not trying to make anyone believe any different than what they do, but sometimes when we want to do it our way, we can also learn when we do it his way, and it's going to go a little bit easier.
Oh yeah.
There's been many a times that I have been on the brink of letting it go. So I understand that. And why does God have to take us through those things to show us who he really is? And that's why he stretches you. When he stretches you, you have to think about it. When you're getting stretched, right, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. But I know what is in you because I made you. And because I made you, I know that you're not going to break with this. It may seem like you're going to break, but you're not going to break. But you got to know who to go to so you won't break.
Yeah. It's building a faith.
So what do you say to those people that break? Because if God
Just
knows you can
because
go,
you,
go ahead.
when you're broken, that's when, like you were saying, that's when you reach out for help. That's when you go to a spiritual advisor. That's when you have someone that you can confide in and talk to that will be able to direct you back to what the Word of God says, because the Word of God never meant for any of us to be depressed. He never meant for us to be lonely. That's why he made Adam and Eve both. You get what I'm saying? So, and yes, the breaking point does come. I've been broken, but I'd rather be broken and allow him to put me back together the way I should be put back together. Because the reason I was broken was because I was doing it on my own.
Mhm.
I was carrying too much. I can't fix everybody's life, not even my kids. I cannot. And if I take on that, and then I take on what my auntie is doing, or what my cousin is doing, or how is this happening? This person is sick, and that person is sick. I don't know how I'm gonna make it without them. We put our trust too much in the person, and so God has to bring you back to where you're only trusting Him. Remember, He say He a jealous God.
So I have a question to the ones. such as like to the young people that are watching, um, that I can relate to, that feel like the trauma that they're going through and they're subjected to right now is making them feel like they want to end it all. How is that correlated to like not feeling like you're carrying someone else's burden? What encouragement do you give to them to say, hey, continue to move forward despite it does not seem like they're going to be able to get out of that?
For
So
me,
with my clients, we'll talk. I can give you tools. I can plug you in with so many different people that can help you. I can give you, if you're hungry, I can give you the whole buffet. As far as metaphorically, give you the whole buffet. Like I can have a spoon right to your mouth. Here you go. Open up. I can even put it in your mouth. Do you digest it? I can't make you chew. So I can give you all the tools you want, but it's that free will to chew the food and to process it so it can nourish your body. And I've learned that some people just don't want to chew, some people just don't want to digest, and that's kind of where it is. And that's just kind of where it is. And I can't put the burden on myself too much where now I'm depressed because you don't want to eat. And I could put people in position for you for sure, but now I gotta give you the God. Now I gotta go feed some other young people that wanna eat. As far as my people that may feel depressed, sometimes you gotta sit in it. If
Yes.
if water's hot, like you gotta sit in the hot water, not jump out. And so I can't be mad at you or make you feel guilty for feeling like you don't want to be here no more. Let's sit in that. I had to sit in it. Nobody could. Man, I was blasting all this gospel music and affirmations. I got to the point where I didn't feel like listening to nothing. I was like, there's nothing positive at all. 0%. Don't even talk to me. I had to be in that because all that positive stuff and cliches wasn't working for me. And so me sitting in it now I can navigate. It may come back. I don't know, but I do know who my team is now more so than I did before. But you got to sit in it for a little bit. You just have to.
100% the way he said. The best thing about God is that He meets you wherever you're at. So while you're down there sitting in it, He's gonna come. He's waiting on you. He's gonna come to wherever you're at. I think I just had to be honest with Him. When I'm mad, I tell Him, God, I'm mad at you. Why'd you let this happen? I'm
mhm.
honest with my feelings. I'm like, to your point, Sergio, I'm not trying to be positive and it'll be okay. I'm being honest with Him in my prayers. And if that's, I'm mad at you, God, because why did you let this happen? Why haven't I gotten this? When is this going to happen? I'm so vulnerable and so honest with him. He already knows. He knows my heart. So just saying it out loud and being real about it, I think, and sitting in it is what got me out of it. It might be you have to go through things to get that feel of God. Because when I was younger, I can't say, I hadn't gone through anything. I didn't know. Nothing had touched me until I got older and started going through real trials and tribulations. So I don't know. I think that's a good question with how you deal with it with younger kids because they're going through things 100%. Um, but I don't know how to get it across. And I'm like, it's better on the other side. Just sit for a minute and it'll get better.
Oh, I got some things for you, but I have to still go to God and ask, how can I get to them?
Mm-hmm.
And I go back to that because everybody's so different.
Mm-hmm.
I have three different children. Even though they all from me, I have to approach them each separately in their own way. Going back to your question of how do we get teens to understand that it's something that they're going through, letting them know what we actually went through, letting them know. I don't think that it is expressed to these children enough that we went through bullying. It was just a little different.
Right.
But we got bullied. At least I did when I was in school. I got bullied. I was real skinny. They taught me I was skin and bones, baby. I didn't have nothing. Nothing. So I mean, and it just depends on what they're receiving at home. Because sometimes you have it to where they getting bullied at school and they getting bullied at home.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to be, or either the bullier, I should say. It could be the same thing with that. The one that's doing the bullying, they may be looking for love. So you just kind of, to me, you kind of got to just feel that person out and see what actually is going on. Like Miss Destiny be asking them questions to hit home. Ask the teen because they'll tell. They will if you ask them and you with having teenagers now, I understand that their vocabulary is nowhere near our vocabulary. Our words don't mean the same thing. So when I do sit them down and I talk to them, and I understand that, I'm able to come at them on their level of vocabulary, if that makes any type of sense. Like they vocabulary, it's not ours. It's so different.
I agree with you. I Next Monday I will have my first ever the youngest guest. And he tunes in, I believe, every other episode, every episode. And I believe he's 15 or 16. And he is way beyond his years, to be honest with you. He is. But I I never push off the fact of having younger guests. I just think that the younger presence, for what they go through and stuff like that, you want consent for the parent to make sure that what you're asking, what you're talking about is okay. So,
Hmm.
it's not like, yeah, we could be on the podcast. But in that, it's like there's a sense of vulnerability of bringing it's a vulnerability, but there's a shift that happens with platforms like this when you bring on a younger presence. So that means there's a preparing that needs to happen. There's praying and fasting and different things that need to happen because the presence of Persperity Podcast has been a um Gen Z, older in their 20s, or in their 30s, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, baby boomers, Gen X. So that is a transition in itself. So I hope he is watching it just to be able just to hear the things that you're saying, Rebecca and Raven and Mr. Sanders, because these things go into play of how I should handle that podcast episode, as well as, understanding him in the dialect that he has. So I'm glad we're talking about this because again, there are younger people that tune in. We like as young as probably under 10 years old. Some you never know. Young
Yeah.
people are going through things. I can recall my trauma started in my birth mother, the moment that honestly I was starting to grow in my birth mother's stomach. And then when I came out, like from newborn to 3 years old, and then so on and so on. So a lot of the things that was going on, I comprehended more than what a lot of people did, and I was articulating on a whole different level than the average child. So nowadays, there's not an age restriction on things. Children are being exposed to sexual things. Children are being exposed to cussing and all these different other things that we don't. So you're right. We need to have a more upfront conversations and vulnerability like this because that's giving them the the boldness to speak when things happen. There's no more sweeping under the rug. There's no more, what happens in this house stays in this house when it is hurting you, when it's causing trauma, it's causing your behavior to seem to other people that you're not approachable or you're not all these things. It's educating the world to not respond to people like that anymore. It's a let me respond to you in love, type of concept.
It kind of leads into my take a child back. So the three foundational steps what Becca mentioned is to get raw and get real with your child.
Hmm.
Apologize for anything known and unknown. Tell them, I've been through the same. Like lower. Sometimes kids see us as the authority figure. When you see a child as a person, they'll
Hmm.
start seeing you as a person. Then it's more of a relatable situation. And then the second thing is to recognize and empower who they are. The third thing is to ask to be part of their life. You don't own them; they're their own person. Ask cannot be part of your world, and then they'll let you in. So when you talk to this young man, or even a young lady next time, ask them how do they see adults, how do they see the world, what do they wish that adults knew about them, how do they feel misunderstood, because they don't have that space. They talk about it with each other, but they don't have that space to tell an actual adult, look, we don't like this, we wish y'all would do this, because if that person is going to be the representative for the Gen Z. So when adults start to understand and humble themselves to treat the young people like a person versus, oh, you don't know. No, they do know. They know probably a lot more than you because their mind is so sped up with technology. They've been
Yeah.
exposed to way more than us at this particular time in their life. So they are having those real conversations. They are having those sensitive discussions. So that means when they're comfortable with you, they'll be able to talk to you about it because we want to give them the real unfiltered situations, but they're learning this fake news from their friends. They think it's real, but it's not. So with that young man, ask him, how does he see the world? How does he see adults? And then he can be the spokesperson. So the thing, after he tells you what it is, adults got to adjust. We got to adjust, not them. They're adjusting to the world already. We got to adjust to them, meet them where they are so we can lift them up. If not, that gap is going to get so big to where these are going to be the new adults that are going to lead the way. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Wow, that's good. Wow.
My phone died. Sorry.
Did you have anything to say to that, Rebecca or Raven?
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's a good point. I'm still navigating. The closest I come to the kids is my 15-year-old niece and 7-year-old nephews. And I'm this day and age, they're consuming so many different things. Now it's hard to keep up and keep them on the straight and narrow. And I found myself being a girl when I was 15. I sound crazy saying that to her. She so
Yeah.
yeah, you got to meet them where they're at, definitely, however that looks. To make sure that the message gets through. But I think they're advancing and they're learning new things every day, hearing new things every day. We got to keep up with them.
They go through so much
So
that we didn't have to.
Yeah.
so I don't think it's a keep up, it's a slow down.
Mm.
Like it's like if they're a fast Mustang,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go fast like you. I'm gonna show you how to use your power.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, I like to talk it like it's like you know when electrical wires get cut and it's like everywhere is all the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the key. How do you harness that back to where it's going to be conducive? Because they could be too smart for their own good, too much energy for their own good. So it's like, how do we make it for their good? So in my opinion, it's not a matter of like catching up to them. It's to give them balance, so they can sync up to like what real life looks like. Because in their mind, it's really fast. It's go. No, life has always been life. Life ain't never been sped up. It's our minds has been sped up with technology and with situations to make us speed up. Just like when you were 15 or when you were 10, life 24 hours was still 24 hours. There ain't nothing changed. But now you got a husband. Now you got 2 kids. Now you got a job. Now your days are going by faster because of your responsibilities. And so if we slow the child down and have them see what's going on, then we can have them see reality for what it is versus how society wants to speed their growth in their mind up.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. I heard Deion Sanders said something that stood out to me when I was watching him on an interview, and he was saying that kids don't change, adults do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a surreal statement because I get what you're saying when you say the 24 hours are still there, but we have additives in our lives now. So I definitely get that, and that is true. Very, very, very great point.
So
This,
transit.
my bad. This might be an experimental generation because I'm a
Hmm.
millennial, and so we weren't able
Hmm.
to talk and speak our mind to our grandparents like that. But now the
Yeah,
millennials have to be okay with the young generation asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
The older generation, it was, I
you
think the
know,
older
question asked. Yeah.
I think their older generation, maybe if you're born in the 60s, 50s, 40s, I think their emotional, I mean, I could be wrong, but their emotional development was probably stunted because they weren't able to have those
Mhm.
conversations with their parents. So they had to hold everything in and get hard. But that's not the case no more. Kids have questions. So when those questions are asked, I think the millennials and beyond don't even know how to answer these questions for them and think they're being disrespectful because they're asking for clarity. So it's a matter of how do you ask the question respectfully and meet them where they are because they're gonna find that answer somewhere. Hopefully, they find an answer from you.
So
I get
in
that.
that,
Hmm.
how do I know we speak about the younger generation, and them being the experimental generation of it. How we address the inner child, the inner teenager that we all have, that sometimes when we're, helping the younger generation, that it triggers something in us. How do you all deal with that when you are coming into a presence of someone, you're just like, wow, you remind me of myself and what I did not heal, and you feel like you're in a battle with that.
You tell them just that. You tell them just that, and in a way where
Uh,
they understand.
as I was saying, do you all have teenage children, grown kids?
I have no
Yes.
kids.
Mm. I don't
Okay,
think nobody got no kids on here.
I have a 25-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 16-year-old. So I'm currently in the space of where I have to deal with each of them at the level. I don't know. They say that the frontal lobe is developed at 25. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. But me dealing with them millenniums, now my youngest is the one who brought me to the understanding of listening to what they're saying and them not being disrespectful in what it is that they are saying. So I completely do get what they say now could be considered disrespectful. I have what I used to call meeting times. We used to do family meetings. That was the open floor where you can tell me anything that you didn't like that I did, and I tried to work on that. And then I will tell you if it was something that you was doing. Now, kids, they not gonna work on it, but for me, I did. Here, for me, I did. Here recently is when I finally noticed that I had truly healed from some of the things as a teenager, not being able to be as open. It was just this past week I was with my 16-year-old and she was talking to me and she started the conversation out the very perfect way. She said, I just don't understand. Can you help me understand? Now, usually to me, the children of today, they don't know how to come to someone. They just blurt it out. They have no type of I no couth is what the old folks used to say. No couth with it. You got to have a little bit of couth, and you should be taught a little bit of couth. So understanding that the older generation, it was do as I say, not as I do, or don't talk back to me. If you, to me, it feels like our youth, they don't listen to the entirety. They cut you off before you can get it all out, before I can even give you a complete understanding, because you want to know the whys and the whys and the whys. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Because the whys, sometimes we can't answer the whys,
Right.
even as a human. I don't know why the sun sits in the sky because God put it there. I don't have a tangible answer for them. So I think that that sometimes has, some play into it because I think that we think that mamas and daddies knows it all, but we blind too. We grown ups, we blind too. We still tread. I ain't never been. m- I don't care about saying my age. I ain't never been 48 before. I
Yeah.
don't even
So
know how
so
they
so
supposed to act.
so that's something that can build that camaraderie. When you say, you know what, I don't know, let's find the why together. That
Yeah.
helps them to grow with you. So I think a lot of adults don't want to be vulnerable and say, I don't know, because
Mm,
don't know, they may know. So I think when we humble ourselves enough to see our children as a person versus, oh, that's my child, we can
mm-hmm.
see who God made them to be, versus, because they're not our property. We're just here to assist.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
somebody else's child for real. We really like brothers and sisters, everybody. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they ain't really your child like that. So I think if we see it from that perspective of, I don't know, let's find out together. Now you put it on their shoulders to use their frontal lobe to help troubleshoot to find an answer as well. Then that builds that bond. So I really like how you do those family meetings, because one of my steps in my program is weekly family meetings. Let's talk about it, because that creates that social emotional learning so they can
Mm-hmm.
troubleshoot when they go to school, and they can have conflict resolution. So I really respect what you do about that.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. I don't want my kids to be lost. I don't want no kids to be lost. To be honest, I don't want nobody.
Yeah.
I try to come to the levels so that let's get an understanding so we can work through all of this. Let's live peacefully. That's how we're supposed to live, ain't it?
Yeah.
Peacefully. We just supposed to be peaceful.
So, how do you all, in your adult age, I believe all three of us are millennials, and I know you say you're a Gen X, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you all ask someone for help when you're needing help? Like when you were going through the things you were going through a couple weeks ago, Mr. Sanders, was it hard to ask for help, or did you feel like you didn't have the help?
Mm, I have a lot of support. My support is crazy. Like my network is humongous. It's a matter of do I receive it,
Yeah,
and
me
if I'm
too.
not receiving it, then it doesn't matter. I can have all this food in front of me, but if I'm not willing, if I don't see it, if it's blind, if it's invisible to me, then I don't know if it's there. So, but I'm vulnerable enough to ask for. I don't mind asking for help, but what happened on Instagram, I was embarrassed for even saying that. I'm like, dang, why did I say that? Because now I'm exposed. But exposure helps you grow, um,
Mm,
and it helps other people to check in on me on their strong friend. So for me,
right.
I'm gonna just ask you because I want you to do the same thing for me. So
Mhm.
I'm just a different type of person, different type of black man that doesn't trip. Because that's really my power to help you. If you see a black man be vulnerable, I think it gives people the green light to go do it too. So I do it. That's just part of my makeup.
Mhm.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm on the
And
opposite
I,
of it. That I don't like asking for help, and it's not because I'm ashamed to do it. I don't know. It's just something. It's hard to do. It's hard to ask for help. Whatever the situation is, I try to see if I can fill it out myself, and that's something I'm trying to learn and grow through. Because I also have a good support system. My family, my friend, I have a great support system. I was unemployed for almost a year. I wouldn't have made it here without them. But I think it's just the I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to ask for help.
excuse me.
Do you feel like with that, do you think that that was like maybe a learned behavior, with growing up, or is that
Not,
a
no,
thing feeling embarrassed to ask?
not necessarily. No, growing up, my parents were very active in our lives, and what do you want to do? You can do it. Like they supported us in every decision that we made, even today. Like my dad might not agree with something. He's like, I support you. I think it's stupid, but I support you, kind of thing. From a good place, we'll say. But I think it's just getting older. I see everybody is going through life. Everybody's going through something, and they might necessarily, I want to ask for help. They're willing to give help. I know they might not necessarily be in a situation where they can give help, so maybe it makes me feel a little guilty for asking for it. But eventually, I get there, and I do. But there's a little conviction, a little guilt in there from doing it.
Okay,
You're checking a therapy for it, I guess.
mhm, that's good. You mindful?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. What about you, Rebecca?
Um,
Um, it actually has been a while since I have been in a dark place. It's been years, thank God. Um, I had a support system, but I don't think the support system exactly knew how to handle what it was that I was going through. So I didn't ask for help all the time because felt kind of like there's not anything that they would be able to do anyway. Because what's major to me may be so minute to another person to where they're like, you should just get over it. And I'm like, no, this is crushing my life. But it's not, crushing no one else's but mine, if that makes any type of sense. I had a support system, but I also did not want to ask for help because I didn't think anybody would understand.
yeah,
I
I
can.
think being vulnerable like that or asking for help, it allows someone to like be a blessing to you. Um, because especially for folks that they admire, like let's say if Superman was hurt, people would be juiced to help Superman because it's like, dang, I can. He bleeds as well. Cool. I think it's kind of like when you help someone, when you help a
Hmm.
leader, help someone that you admire, it gives you strength. It also makes that leader feel it's very humbling and humbling their strength and being humble because it keeps you balanced. So I think it's on both ends. The person that's asking for help is humbled, the person that is the helper is empowered. So I guess it's a twofold.
I know for like myself, I wouldn't say it's hard to ask. I would say I've been challenged with being asked for help in a sense because what was help? I didn't know what help was until about 8 years ago.
Last summer, 2 summers ago.
Look, I love that. Yes, true, but that was a struggle for me because it's like with a lot of things that and I'm with Rebecca too when it comes to certain things. Like I'd be like, if you haven't gone through what I've gone through, how can you relate? How can you help me navigate that? You know
Mm.
what I mean? But I'm learning that you don't have to go through what I've gone through to help me navigate through things. Because God will send you people that have not been through anything that you ever gone through, but they could
Yeah.
still help you along the way.
Yeah.
And I've been more open to that since last summer. I'm telling you, I had to go into a metamorphosis. I had to go into the cocoon like the butterfly does. Go into the cocoon, really does just deal with me, and then come out the beauty, the beautiful thing, the beauty of things that I was running away from
Mhm.
because I felt like my mistakes, my hurt, my pain, the trauma, the things I couldn't control were the things that people, the only thing that they saw. And I had to realize that I'm the only one that is being making it a thing that people see this. Like, I don't see this. Not unless I act like it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or screaming that. But I don't look like what I'm going through. You know, and how sometimes I carry myself. But it's a complex thing as well when you go through certain things. But also when you walk through life alone, it's hard to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Help is like a asking for help is asking for someone to giving them the hand to control you. And that's how I used to look at it. You mean me asking you to help me?
Yeah.
What that was if I was when I was homeless, struggling with food, whether that was me needing advice or whether that was me asking somebody like just to be a part of my life. For me, like the biggest thing that I have done recently, and I'm so proud of myself, was ask somebody to mentor me. I'm not saying you might think differently, Mr. Sanders, because it was last summer. I don't think I could do stuff on my own, but I think I could kind of do stuff on my own. But I know I need help. I know I need help.
No, yeah,
But
you didn't ask for help until you feel me. You said in like a shadow kind of way, help me, but I'm gonna do it. I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes. So if I'm asking, it that's big for me because I know I cannot navigate this life with no matter how many accolades, no matter how much that I'm doing an impactful influence. It's always someone in the background that you need to hold you responsible. So it's
Yeah.
like for me, I need not just a therapist that holds me responsible for my mental health, but a person that holds me responsible for being the woman I'm supposed to be, the woman that God has called me to be an influence to the world, to not always look at myself before as to where I had to walk out of, but to where I am and where God is taking me. So help is hard. It is.
The root cause for that mindset, that's a conditioning mindset to I can't ask for help. That's really Eurocentric, a westernized mindset
Yep.
because where our origin is, it was helping on deck. Helping wasn't like I'm helping. It was more like I'm doing for you because I'm doing for me. I'm doing
Yeah.
for me. It was no separation. But in this Western society, people that don't look like us, they're very individualistic, extremely. So they want to create leaders to the point where you feel so isolated. Just like when Christ talks about being off the vine, you know what I'm saying? You're away from the source. You're away from it, and the source could really be, of course, it's God, yeah, but it can be your team, your people, the ones
Mm-hmm.
who love you. When you're outside of that, you're being alienated, isolated, and you lose your power. So that way of I don't ask for help, that's Eurocentric, a European way of thought. That doesn't belong to us. So when we go outside of their lines to ask for help, we think something's wrong. But it's really we're really getting back to ourselves by having that helping family tradition like we used to have.
Mhm.
Cool. I'm gonna put something out there, and I know this probably gonna bother some
What he
people.
do again? What Mr. Sanders does again?
You
What
tell
what
me
what happened?
what you do again.
Oh,
What
what
you
what I
do?
do is well, I'm a parent empowerment coach, life coach, and so I
Okay.
have a program. It's called Take Your Child Back, and then 7 strategies of parent-child relationship building, and also teacher-student. I write books. I do blah 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 blahs, and
And your information, you gonna leave your information?
I can type a little situation up in here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah. Somebody might need that. Yes, I need it. No, no, look,
Hey, hey, what's
I need
going
help.
on?
I need help.
I can present my presentation. So my goal, I have a meeting tomorrow with the elementary school in Atlanta to present my concepts, my workshop to the parent engagement specialist. And so my goal is to get into different schools and teach students or teach teachers how to connect. And so pray that they put me on board. We can do a 7-week process, and they got
Yeah.
that money for me. So tomorrow's my first time actually piloting and talking to a elementary school out here to get me on board, get contracted. But
Yes.
I don't know where I can type in
It
the
says
chat.
private chat.
No.
She can see
Oh,
it.
okay,
I'll
okay.
copy. She'll
Mm.
she'll be able to see it, but I'll copy
I'll
it for everybody else.
okay. Oh, I see it for sure. I'll just put my information in here right here. Thank you. Let's go.
I'm gonna do it again.
And I agree. I have to put the like things from a cyber perspective because many of you might not know, many you do. I'm in my master's program for master. It's a master of science in cyber psychology. So what it is it's cybersecurity from a psychological perspective. So it's actually that intersectionality of during the pandemic, the kids in the virtual reality perspective, being able to tap into that to know how I can actually assist people with that interaction base. Why do you have this behavior online opposed to being in person communication and being able to um, help people that are not technologically understood to adapt into a society that is going AI based and so
Mm.
many other things as well. Because we're not going to get away from it. It's not going to happen. Everything's going to be technology. Everything's going to be AI based in the
Yeah.
future. I was just in Quick Trip, and I had to say excuse me to the AI machine. It was like, welcome to Quick Trip. I'm cleaning. Excuse me. I was like, what? What is this robot doing here? So we're already in that world. I mean, Amazon robots are dropping off our packages. We got robo dogs.
It's crazy.
Like, come on now. Things are not shifting away from technology.
Yeah.
But what I will say is one thing that AI cannot do that us as human beings can do, and that Mr. Sanders and Raven and Rebecca and all the other guests that have been on here are doing, we're able to learning to articulate our emotions and feel.
Hmm.
And that's the power that we have that it doesn't have. They could teach it, try to teach it all they want to, but it cannot feel what we feel. It cannot do what we're doing. So we have to create this interaction, this space, and utilize technology and AI for the better good in helping people share their feelings, their emotions, and whatever they may be challenged with. Because again, it's not going to go away. You just got to use it. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like it's the utilization of connecting with people when they cannot be here to be able to share their stories, share their testimonies, connect with other people, and do what God has called them to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So Destiny. So we mentioned AI. AI is super crazy helpful. At the same time, the spirit can't be duplicated. So when you start coming from a spiritual stance, when you talk to someone's soul, that can't be duplicated. You talk to their mind can shift in their emotions. You talk to that spirit, that's undeniable. And the only way you can really do that is if you allow God to um, utilize you to talk to what is fish? What's the guy say? Like I want you to be fishermen of men. So AI can't do that. So I think when we turn off our spirit or don't tap in that spiritual stance, we kind of block off that spiritual conversation. So if you tap more into the spirit talk, that bypass the cheat code kind of wakes you up out the matrix when you start talking to someone's spirit and to their soul. And in order to do that, you gotta be vulnerable enough to talk to their spirit from spirit to spirit. Now that's that vulnerable space. My spirit talking to yours, what's up? I don't care about your color, your age, or nothing, what's going on. And when you do that, they can feel you. Then you snap them out of that hypnosis. But society wants you to depend on technology, wants the kids to depend on their devices. Their devices are their companion now. There's a point in time where we didn't have that 0%. You take a cell phone away from a 5-year-old or a tablet, their whole world
Yeah.
it sparks up in their mind. It's a
Yeah.
distress signal. So the same separation anxiety creates in that kid with the technology, the same thing it would with a loved one that passed away. It's the same equivalent. That same process happens in your brain. So we got to be mindful that that's the new reality. That is their companion. That is their person. And so that part isn't going to stop. These robots that look so real with the prosthetic skin, that's going to be the new norm. Yes, but we got to take your child back and have the conversations for when that does happen. They won't be so easily swayed by having the technology be their
Mm.
parent. But some parents, they be like, they give the tablet to their kid and they go off and do
Yeah.
their own thing. That's your bad. That your kid didn't know what technology was until you
Yeah.
showed it to him.
Mhm.
So if you were using that technology, that tablet to raise your kid, and now your kid is having a emotional um, um, distress and separation anxiety, that means you've been giving your kid that the whole time. When all they wanted was a hug. They wanted to tell you love them. They just wanted you to give them some recognition. But so that's your bad. My bad. That's your bad.
Facts, facts.
Definitely facts.
Mm,
Yeah.
Definitely.
because with the fact of
I'm guilty.
my degree is in that cyberspace. That's what it is being a cyber psychologist. As I was stating, that we cannot change from what's going on, but the actual interpersonal communication that we all have, the feelings and emotions, AI cannot mark that. Technology is only bringing us closer, such as this, to be able to share our experiences, and that's the a healthier way to utilize it. Because a lot of things that I'm doing right now is utilizing different things, such as like I was
Mm.
doing this paper on I wrote a paper on how the Stanford experiment could have been better utilized today from a cyberspace perspective. And those of you that know about that, it's about, they took college students and random people, some college students, other ones were guards, and they utilized them to create a prison. It was a prison experiment to treat them in a type of way and how they all reacted. But to sum it up, it psychologically messed all of those people up, and it wasn't ethical because the person that created it was actually the warden of the prison, which made it really a conflict of interest. But so on, so on. What I'm saying is that things from a side perspective is actually going to have a hindrance in society, but it's actually going to enhance it in a lot of ways. So
Yeah.
many people are trying to control AI, but they're dismissing the fact that the interpersonal communication, I'm sorry, the interpersonal communication is actually the thing that is being dismissive, is being dismissed. We have to communicate more. We have to have more communications with one another. We have to do that around children, not adult conversations. We have to do it around teens, like so they can know what interaction is. Nowadays, no one interacts. They just sit around on their phone. They
Yep.
don't. They sit around on their tablet. They sit around and do all this other things on technology, opposed to actually communicating. It's getting extinct because if that's all they see us do, what are they doing? What they're only doing what they see. So yeah. So
So
I,
Becca, my information is in there right there.
I
Sergio
got you.
James Services at
Hmm.
gmail.com. Just
Yes.
shoot me an email. I'll show you my PowerPoint. We can troubleshoot with your 16-year-old. That's a perfect age, and hopefully you'll pull some nuggets, and then we can definitely go from there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got your information. I definitely will be collabing with you. Yes. I
Awesome, thank you.
actually have thought about going into schools as well. So that's,
Okay,
hmm
that'll
yep,
work. That'll
yep.
work.
So that's a good thing. See, collab. I'm glad to have known you. I'm glad to meet you.
Likewise, likewise. Oh,
uh,
to you parents out there, do not be afraid to talk to your kids. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid of them. That means if you're afraid of your child, that means your inner child is afraid of your child. It ain't you. It's your inner child is afraid of your child, because if your inner child is like 5 years old and your real child is about 15, you're gonna be scared. Why? Because like a
Yeah.
5-year-old talking to a 15-year-old. So it's really about you evolving that inner kid to help parent that inner child so that you can feel confident enough to talk to that 15-year-old again. And that may be some have a conversation with your conversation with the person that caused you the trauma. Let's say your grandparent or your mom is older and she calls you trauma. Talk to her before she passed, because if not, you're gonna be holding on to that forever. So have that hard conversation with your own parent or the person that
Yeah.
calls you that trauma, so that you can be there for your
Mm,
child and you not cause them trauma to where they got to
mm,
talk before you die later. We got to break those things. So
Break
the
the
right.
things that we want our children to do, we have to do it, and it has to happen now more than ever.
Mm. So, Mr. Sanders, I have to ask you this question. Despite the things that he's going through, what are you doing aside from helping other people to actually help yourself heal?
Shoot, slowing down and knowing I can't make people eat, knowing that that savior complex, because we already been
Mm,
saved already. That's not my job. It's already been written. It's a matter of me slowing. It's a matter of me, my spirit. I'm in the spirit world so much to where like the humanness is so slow. So it's a matter of
mm,
slowing down and not delaying my own progress. And shoot, just be meditating, being of service. Really, that's part of my makeup. It's to serve. But I think getting out of God's way and knowing that
mm,
he's the author, and I'm just helping people co-write here and there, but I don't have to write your story. That's not on me, and that
right.
takes the burden off my shoulders now to be someone's savior, because that's not my job, and I don't want to sign up for that. That's too much.
Yeah.
So, do you utilize therapy?
Yeah, I
Yes.
have a therapist myself for sure, for sure. I only hit him up with like when I need to. It's as needed basis for sure. Um, I just need to, it's just really being patient with my own growth and my own ideas. My ideas can like overwhelm myself. So I think it's a matter of like allowing God help me navigate what's going on versus trying to put deadlines on myself to where I'm now frustrated. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, I'm just a spiritual being living a human experience, and we're not from here. Like we're gonna go home. Sometimes I just want to go home. Like, but we're heavenly citizens. We're foreign here. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So naturally, we want to go home because we ain't from here anyway. We just here on a visa. Feel me?
yeah.
I got my green card. I got my green card on planet Earth. That's it. I ain't from here. And so, you know what I mean? So it's like, how can we maximize our time with this visa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, because I'm learning, like, even for me with being in this podcast space, and then like authenticity. And I tell every guest on here, authenticity is important, because
Mm,
anyone can sit in front of someone and say all the right things, but a lot of people want to know that you're walking what you're talking, despite that the hurt and the pain and the downs that you have. It shouldn't be just, hey, when I go through this, that I'm going through this. Like, they want to know that you're going through it. And
right.
I think the
Oh
relational
yeah.
piece is what we're missing as human beings. Like, for me, like, what I want to go to school, I'm sorry, go to school for, or interacting with people, is not just for the fact of I have the degree for it, or the fact of, oh my gosh, I'm passionate about it. I have to stop and realize when I'm sorry, when I'm being selfless and when I'm being selfish in my stuff. I I asked God, I said, if anything is me, remove me. That means
Mm,
my complex about if I think I know everything, or and I have to stop myself a lot of times on that. Or if I think that, I'm leading with my trauma because I've been there, let me tell you something. I
Hmm.
think a lot of people need to know that, hey, I deal sometimes with depression. Hey, I've been suicidal before. I've been here. They need to continue to know that. They don't need to just hear, oh my gosh, this is and that. There's a reality, and then there's a, okay, let me just fit this to you. And I think we need to be more realistic out
Hmm.
there, especially as Black people,
I
because we're
agree.
out there struggling. In everybody, every time you turn on the TV, you get on social media, TikTok or whatever it is somebody inspirationally speaking to you. But then next thing you know, they're on social media and they committed suicide or got killed, or
Yeah.
they died, or they're dealing with depression, or they're saying something. Be that person
Mm,
consistently, because people need to know you're human. And that's why I tell people out there, if you're inspiring podcast guest, motivational speaker, or whoever you are, be real. Do not hide that, because authenticity, it you need to have it. It went out of style. It needs to come back. You need to take
mm,
care of yourself. And that's what all about the fact of what Persperity Podcast is too. I'm about to speak sweet to you and say all that stuff. Sometimes we gonna get on here and it's gonna be real. But it's not about the sweetness in what I say. It's about how does it align with you to make you feel that whatever God has called you to do, you
Yeah.
can do it. And that is by seeing my stuff, because knowing that my stuff stinks. It don't always
Mm.
smell. So I'm sorry, I had to go on there and remember about that.
No,
Because
that's good.
too realistic. It's too unrealistic out here, you guys.
Yeah.
It's everybody wants to be that person. I just want to be the individual that brings people into a space that says the space that they have is their space. You do whatever
Hmm.
you want. You feel like you need to do without anything controlled, because everything's so controlled, everything's so situated, everything's so structured. So it's leaving the interpersonal communication, is leaving the fact that my feelings are my feelings, but are you giving me those feelings or are they mine?
Mm.
I want people to
Mm.
share their feelings. I want you to tell me what you're feeling, not me tell you what I
Mhm.
think you're feeling or tell you what I
Yes.
can't, because I've been there before. I've been that person where I said that to somebody or somebody said that to me, and I know that how that feels.
Yeah.
A title does not determine your ability to speak life into somebody. What determines that is what God places on your heart at that moment to share what you got to share. Your
Hmm.
story, your testimony, your triumph. Everybody got a story. That's what I'm saying. I was gonna put it out there. You got a story. Stop being ashamed of your vulnerability. Stop being ashamed that you feel suicidal.
Mhm.
Tell somebody. Scream to the
Yeah.
top of your lungs, everybody. Get
Yeah.
out there, find somebody and say, hey, I'm not in just one person. You trust somebody or somebody you know, hey, I'm feeling suicidal. Don't say, hey, somebody need to go to a mental institution. No. At that moment, that's your point to listen,
Hmm.
because you're
Mhm.
saving a life.
Hmm.
It's not for you to tell them how to navigate through that, what they're feeling. It's for you to
Mhm.
listen, because there is healing and safety in listening.
Yeah.
When we praying, do God interrupt? Sometimes he do. No, God listens, because he already know what was going. He know the ending before the beginning. Y'all don't.
Mhm.
So stop trying to tell people how to navigate that. Stop trying to tell people how their feelings is. You don't know that. They don't know it. They don't even know how to articulate the words. That's why they hop on different places and platforms to hear if somebody can put in words what they're feeling.
Uh-huh.
It's a roadmap. It's understandable because somebody else is able to do something that they didn't know that they had in them. It unlocks something. Be a person that unlocks things in people. Don't be the person that constantly has somebody unpacking stuff. Unlock some stuff. Because you keep on unpacking, it gets so empty, ain't nothing there.
Yeah.
Be a
Mm.
person that help people unpack their greatness. I mean, unlock those great things in them. Be that person. I'm sorry, you all. I'm sorry.
It's a it's a it's about giving someone permission to feel, like I mentioned earlier, as far as a black man being vulnerable. Oh dang, Serge is being vulnerable. Oh dang, Serge was suicidal and he put it on Instagram. Oh dang. Yeah, yeah. So I walk what I talk. I don't speak what
Hmm.
I'm not. And that's the difference. Because when people speak what they're not, it's really hollow. They can repeat, there's no substance in it. And you know how when they talk about how like fire refines
Mhm.
gold, and if you got fool's gold and real gold and that fire hit and that fool's gold start melting, but that gold still intact, you know what's up. So when that fire hits, some people don't want to be next to the fire. They slip
Yeah.
out of it, but it's gonna be a time where publicly you're gonna be under that fire and they're gonna see who you really are. And so for myself, I empower, I unlock, I show you what's going on. And it may be embarrassing the next day. I'm like, damn, why I do that? But that was for somebody
Yeah.
else. And so when you're mentioning, as far as walking what you talk, I have no problem doing that because I don't like fake people. I can feel your fakeness, so I'm gonna slip right on through that. But a king will take his crown off and go help you mow the lawn. A real one, take his crown off, hang it up, and what's up? I got you. And then put it back on and get to work. And then that shows you, oh, that's like if a CEO of a company help you mop the floors. Yeah, this is his company
Yeah.
too. So it's a. I'm gonna show you and I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna show you first. I'm gonna get my hands dirty with you, and not everybody want their hands dirty. And that's the difference between people just saying what you want to hear to lift you to get followers versus someone actually lifting you up. And that's the difference. It's a clear difference. You can feel it, you can
Yeah,
see it. Because anytime you want to give people hollow words, it inflates you, and you like a balloon up
Mm.
there, man. But let that wind hit, let that slingshot hit that balloon. It's gonna pop on you, right? So you want to be a balloon. You feel me? Or do you want to be? It's like, did you work for that stage? Did you really work for that? You're not gonna appreciate it. But if you took that back door and climbed up, man, they gonna feel it. They gonna see it, and the guy gonna knock you down, and they gonna be like, "You back down
Mm,
here? Man, well, yeah, because you didn't deserve that spot. That's why.
mm.
Because when you're on a platform, you have a responsibility to lead people like pastors. There's a lot of pastors, man. You know they ain't supposed to even be there. You know they ain't. You can feel it. But they're leading a flock of people. That's a responsibility. That means they're looking to you for guidance. And if you're milking their vulnerability for your own glory, oh, that's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
I agree. Everything that somebody that you do when it comes to people has to be a selfless journey. It has to be
Yeah.
something that you're willing to remove yourself from and not feel like it's all about you.
Yeah.
That's 100%. I tell people all the time, every week when I get on Persperity Podcast, and my God sent mother could tell you that I have. It's always something before I get on. It's always something. Emotionally, mentally, I'm like, okay, I cannot do this. I can't do it, and God's just like, what I'll tell you to do, because it's not about me. And I agree, you have to like make things nothing about you and more about that individual, because it's important that that person feels that what you're doing, what's going on, what you are doing, it's about them. It's safe. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm like, everything is safe. Like, I'm just like, if I can create that safe space, whether that is on here or outside of that, that is important to me, because I know what it's not like to not have a safe space. Because many people like Rebecca, you know me. You've been knowing me for like what, 8+ years. I was a person in the back. I wasn't a person in front. I was to myself, kind of low key shy. Didn't really want people to say nothing to me. But being able to step out of that and be the person I am today is a blessing. But all aside from all of that, everybody, like, you have a testimony in you. You have a, powerful story in you. You have a gift in you, and you have a calling. Use that for the goodness of God, and use that to bring people closer to Christ, and use that to also be vulnerable with people as well, because no one on this earth, you know, is emotionless. No one does not go through something. And that's what this platform is about. People showing some humility and authenticity.
Mhm.
So you know that you're not going through it alone. So you're
hey,
just not.
I gotta shake off. I gotta shake off. But when you were talking, God told me to tell the people, when you hide your hurt, you can't heal. That's all He
Mm.
told me. When you hide your hurt, you cannot heal. So
Heard.
Yeah.
that's just straight. That's straight from the man.
All
But
right, hot off the press.
No,
hot off. Like, but yeah, I do have to go. I
Yeah,
appreciate you. Thanks for your time, Miss Becca. Please hit me up. Raven, nice to meet you,
I
Miss
will.
Smith. Till next time.
thank you. Thank you.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
one. Be blessed.
Right on. You
I
too.
do. Oh, you probably on that. Gotcha. All right. So I do have one more question. I know we have to, you know, wrap this up. But finally, what are your most exciting current endeavors or things that you're doing, um, to impact the community, or things that you want to do in the future?
I feel like Sergio would have killed us with this answer, so I'm glad he
Yes, he
held
would have.
up.
Yes, he would have.
I'm gonna be honest and say I am not as involved in my community as I would like to be. Especially, I want to do something with younger Black girls. I really do. Um, so let me add that to the list to say, and this conversation has been inspiring, by the way. Especially, I'm gonna tune in with the 15-year-old that you got. Is it next week?
Yes,
I want to hear it.
yeah,
I want to.
definitely.
The youth, they're the future, right? So I want to dig into that for sure, in here. But this is something it's been on my heart. I have to find something that I can spread to the youth to help them out here. Just hearing the things that my niece, she's 15, like I said, or she's 16 now. Just some of the things that she talks about that she's going through as a young teenage girl, and everybody doesn't have a big sister or auntie or a mom that
Mhm.
can relate to them. So this is on the agenda before the end of the year for sure. And this has inspired me, this whole conversation, to do something for that.
I love that. I love
Yes, yes. For me, it's been writing. I've been writing maybe what someone is feeling.
Mm.
Um, so I've been, I don't know, God has been flooding my thoughts, and I've been writing, just writing and writing and writing. I may have to do a book.
Yeah, you piqued my interest with some of the stuff you said. I read
Okay, all right now.
it. Yeah,
But,
I was about to say book. She got a book coming out.
it.
yeah, I need to go on it. I do. I've already started it. I just need to finish and get it published and stuff. But yeah.
Love that. I love that.
You
That's
know,
you have a book too, don't you?
I do. It's called The
Yeah,
Book of Persevere. It's on Amazon.
I didn't forget about that. Yeah.
Not the
Mm,
best one, you all. It's not the best one yet. But the next one that's coming, which is a manual, a trauma manual, basically is showing you how to love a person that's going through trauma.
Oh,
You know,
oh, gee.
trying to, and helping people that have not gone through trauma understand people that are going through trauma, or people that's gone through trauma understand people that have not. So,
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
Keep us posted.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
well, that one's gonna be a little bit better. The other one's like from a 7-year-old perspective today to 24. So it's a
That's
little.
That's all right. We got to start somewhere.
yeah.
But I would say with you, Rebecca, hit up Ruben. Ruben did my book cover. I would
Okay.
when I went with my publisher, she was trying to use another person. I was like, no, Ruben Armstrong is doing my book cover.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
remember Ruben from the church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
So boy, he's cold. He is cold. He always do all of my stuff. He gonna do my next book cover.
Shout out to Ruben.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Ruben. I got to get him as a guest. That's my boy. Um, but yeah, you all, you're very inspiring, Mrs. Sanders, Raven, Beck. All of you all are inspiring. I would encourage you, Raven, as well to collaborate. Reach out to Mr. Sanders. He works with young women as well,
Hmm.
so he could probably send you over some of them as well. Possibly collab or something like that to get you started. And of course, is Rebecca, reach out to Mr. Sanders. I plan on trying to collaborate with him on some stuff too. He doing some amazing things. You all are, and I can't wait to promote your book. I can't wait to promote your podcast. Whatever you're
yeah.
doing, I can't
Yeah.
wait to
I
support you.
also just opened a group. It's called Ladies Vent. That's on Facebook.
I'm in that. I accepted that invite as soon as I got it.
Yeah.
I did.
So
I said, "Oh yeah, I got to get
share
that."
share with Raven, because that's what a safe place where I feel that we can come in as ladies and get help,
I love that.
Yeah,
advice.
I love that. Yeah.
I definitely will. And she's in that group chat too. If you want to send that into the group chat,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
you just got to tell the guys it's not for y'all. Well, thank you for being on the podcast, and I just
Yeah.
want
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
and I just want to share, like, did we not cover anything? Is there anything you want to share before I wrap up?
No, this was I feel fulfilled. My cup runneth over after this conversation. I enjoyed it. I knew it was going to be
Absolutely.
fun, but I definitely enjoyed having other people on. And per usual, Destiny, let me know when we're going to do it again.
I know. This is good destiny.
Okay. Well, that's all for this special episode of Persperity Podcast. Exciting return. Former guests share their podcast experience. I've had an incredible time catching up with some of our favorite past guests. Huge shout out to Sergio Sanders, Raven Poole, and Rebecca Brown for joining us today and sharing their invaluable insights and experience since their last appearance on the show. Their stories have truly highlighted the diverse journeys and continued success of our community. Please go like and subscribe to Persperity Podcast if you have not subscribed. And also remember, mindful moments equal prosperous lives. And tune in next week. I have my first what is it? The
Millennium.
what they call them?
Millennium. Is it millennium?
It's not the millennial. I
Gen,
have my first Gen
Gen
Z
Z.
on
Gen
here.
Z. That's it.
Yeah.
So tune in next week. Shout out to you, Kingston. We'll see you next week, and thank you all.
We'll be
Uh,
watching.
bye.
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 In the shadows we find our light. Through the struggles we'll take flight. Healing hearts and mending minds. Together we'll
Bye,
leave the
everybody.
past behind.
Go
behind.
like and
Welcome
subscribe.
to Persperity Podcast, where hope is found. Voices rising up, breaking new ground. With every story shared, we grow and learn. In this journey